top 5 smartphones in 2024. On number 5 we have Oneplus 12. Oneplus 12 comes at $899, which is low as compared to its competitors, and it can also compete with Galaxy S24 Plus and Google Pixel 8 Pro, which we discuss further. The design of Oneplus 12 is pretty impressive. Oneplus 12 offered a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front side, and on the back side, it has Corning Gorilla Glass with an aluminum frame around. The weight of this phone is 220 grams, and the colors offered by OnePlus are silky black, flowy emerald, and silver. The camera setup on the backside looks so good. The rear camera setup are 50-megapixel main camera with a 48-megapixel ultra-wide and a 64-megapixel telephoto camera, while the front camera is 16-megapixel. In video features, you can shoot video up to 8K 24 FPS, 4K 30 and 60 FPS, and 1080p 30, 60, 240, and 480 FPS, which has Auto HDR Euro electronic stabilization in it. From front camera, you can shoot 4K 30 frames per second, 1080p 30 frames per second, and a front camera also offer Euro electronic stabilization. OnePlus has an AMOLED 6.82 inches 120Hz HDR10 Plus display. Lower brightness is 600 nits, the higher is 1600 nits, and the peak brightness is 4500 nits with resolution of 1440 by 3168 pixels. Chipset is Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, 4nm technology with 3.3 GHz speed, and GPU is Adreno 750. It has many variants: 12 GB RAM and 256 GB storage, 16 GB RAM and 512 GB storage, 16 GB RAM and 1 TB storage, and 24 GB of RAM and 1 TB storage. Battery capacity is 5400 mAh lithium Polaroid. This device has fast charging 100 watt, wireless charging 50 watt, and reverse charging 10 watt. The operating system is Android 14, and Oxygen OS 14 fingerprint sensor is under the display. Also have an accelerometer, gyro, and proximity sensor. On the 4th number, we have the Google Pixel 8 Pro. If you want the best camera performance, you must consider the Google Pixel devices. These devices have been constantly improving, and the Pixel 8 Pro is a perfect example of this. With its advanced camera features and state-of-the-art technology, it's an unbeatable choice for capturing stunning photos and videos. On the front side, Pixel offers Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and on the back side it has Gorilla Glass Victus 2 with an aluminum frame along the side. The weight of this device is 213 grams, and this device is very handy, comfortable to handle, and not too bulky. The device offers a variety of colors including obsidian, porcelain, bay, and mint. The display size of this device is 6.7 inches, and it features an OLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate. The screen also supports HDR10 Plus. It has a higher brightness of 1600 nits and a peak brightness of 2400 nits. The resolution of the display is 1344 by 2992 pixels, and the aspect ratio is 20:9. On the back side, the device has a triple camera setup. The main camera is 50 megapixels with an f1.7 aperture. The second camera is a telephoto lens with 48 megapixels and an f2.8 aperture. The third camera is an ultra-wide lens with 48 megapixels and an f2.0 aperture. This device is capable of recording at 1080p resolution with 24, 30, 60, 120, and 240 FPS frames per second. It also features gyroscopic electronic stabilization, optical image stabilization, and 10-bit HDR recording. The front camera has a 10.5 megapixel sensor with an f/2.2 aperture. It can record 4K video at 30 frames per second and 1080p video at 30 frames per second. The device is equipped with a Google Tensor G3 chipset that is built on a 4nm (nm) processor. It has a Nona core with a clock speed of 3.0 GHz and an Immortals G715S GPU. The device comes with 4 storage options: 128 GB, 256 GB, 512 GB, and 1 TB, all of which have 12 GB of RAM. Battery capacity is 5050 mAh. The device supports 30W fast charging, 23W wireless charging, and has Android 14 OS. It also features an under-display fingerprint sensor. The third device is Samsung S23 Ultra. The majority of people don't need all these fancy cameras and insane power, so Samsung's Galaxy S23 lineup, which also includes the S23 Plus, isn't exactly a game changer. Still, I have to tell myself that occasionally it's acceptable to splurge on the greatest of the best. playing a hard game at its finest quality and without having to squint at a dim screen on a sunny day is pleasant. The display size is 6.8 inches dynamic AMOLED 120Hz refresh rate panel with HDR10+ support. The higher brightness is 1200 nits and the peak brightness is 1750 nits. The screen resolution is 1440 by 3088 pixels, which results in a pixel density of 500 pixels per inch, PPI. The device is protected on the front and back sides with Gorilla Glass Victus 2. It weighs 234 grams and comes in 8 different color options: Phantom Black, Green, Cream, Lavender, Graphite, Sky Blue, Lime, and Red. The device comes with a quad camera setup, where the main camera has a 200 megapixel resolution and an aperture of f1.724mm. It also features a 10 megapixel periscope telephoto with zoom up to 100x, a 10 megapixel telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens. Additionally, the device offers super steady video recording. The Samsung S23 Ultra can record videos of the license plates of 8K 24, 30 FPS, 4K 30, and 60 FPS. It also supports 30, 60, 240, and up to 960 frames per second recording in 1080p. Furthermore, the device has a stereo sound recording feature on the front side. This device offers a 12 megapixel wide camera that allows for dual video calls, auto HDR, HDR10+, and can record 4K 30 and 60 FPS at 1080p 30 frames per second. The device has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset with a 4nm octa-core processor, which has a clock speed of 3.36 GHz. The GPU is Adreno 740, and the device offers 12 GB of RAM with 512 GB of storage. The device also has fast charging of 45 watts, wireless charging of 15 watts, and reverse charging of 4.5 watts. The fingerprint sensor is located under the display with ultrasonic technology. The operating system is Android 13 with One UI 5.1. The second device we have is Apple's iPhone 15 Pro Max. The iPhone 15 Pro Max model is noticeably lighter than previous models due to its titanium build, giving it a more appealing appearance and feel. This makes using the device much more enjoyable. One of the notable features of the iPhone 15 Pro Max is its USB-C connector. It enables faster data transfers and charging of other devices such as the Apple Watch. Additionally, the connector can be used to connect to an external 4K monitor, transfer photos and videos directly to a portable SSD, and charge other devices from your iPhone. For content creators, these advantages are groundbreaking. Apple offers a Super Retina XDR OLED display with a 6.7-inch screen size, a 120Hz refresh rate panel, and HDR10+ support. The typical brightness is 1000 nits, while the high brightness is 2000 nits. The screen resolution is 1290 by 2796 pixels, resulting in a high pixel density. The available colors for Apple devices are black titanium, white titanium, blue titanium, and natural titanium. These devices come equipped with a triple camera setup, which includes a 48 megapixel main camera with an aperture of f/1.8 and optical image stabilization, OIS. Additionally, there is a 12 megapixel periscopic telephoto lens with an aperture of f/2.8, 3D sensor shift optical image stabilization, and 5x optical zoom. The third camera is a 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens with an aperture of f/2.2, and it features a 3D LiDAR scanner. As for video features, the devices offer 1080p recording at 25, 30, and 60 FPS, and 120 and 240 FPS recording at 10-bit HDR. They also support Dolby Vision HDR recording up to 60 frames per second, and Pro feature recording in cinematic mode. Lastly, they offer stereo sound recording. The front camera has a 12 megapixel resolution with an aperture of f1.9. It also has optical image stabilization, OIS, and offers cinematic mode, 4K 24, and 30 FPS video features. The video features come in 24, 25, 30, and 60 FPS, as well as 1080p 25, 30, 60, and 120 FPS. The chipset in the mobile phone is Apple A17 Bionic Pro, which uses 3nm technology and is the fastest processor in mobile phone history. The processor is hexa-core with a clock speed of 3.78 GHz. There are 3 storage options available: 256 GB, 512 GB, and 1 TB. The biggest change this year is the Type-C Gen 2 port. The battery capacity is 4,441 mAh, which offers fast charging of 15 watts, wireless charging of 7.5 watts, and reverse charging of 4.5 watts. The operating system is iOS 17, which is upgradable to iOS 17.0.3. Now the last and number 1 device is Samsung S24 Ultra. Samsung's latest Galaxy S24 line has gone all in on AI, making the S24 Ultra the most premium Android phone on the market. The device comes equipped with a new Galaxy AI model that delivers a range of generative capabilities, including real-time phone call translations, image-based Google searches that can be initiated by circling an object on the screen, AI-assisted photo editing and transcriptions, and a chat assist feature that helps users craft messages in different tones. The S24 Ultra is truly the best Android phone available today. S24 features a 6.8-inch AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate, supporting HDR10+. The display has a peak brightness of 2600 nits and a resolution of 1440 by 3120 pixels. The front glass of the device is made of Gorilla Glass armor, while the back glass is made of Gorilla Glass. The frame of the device is made of titanium. Samsung offers the device in several colors including titanium black, titanium gray, titanium violet, titanium yellow, titanium blue, titanium green, and titanium orange. The weight of the device is 232 grams. The S24 boasts a stunning quad-camera setup, which consists of a 200-megapixel main camera, a 50-megapixel periscope telephoto lens that offers 5x optical zoom, a 10-megapixel telephoto lens, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens that has the ability to capture super steady videos. It comes with a host of features such as 8K 24, 30 frames per second, 4K 30, 60, 120 FPS, 1080p 30, 60, 240 FPS, and 1080p 960 FPS slow-motion HDR recording with HDR10+. It also offers stereo sound recording. The front camera has a 12-megapixel resolution and can record videos at 4K 30/60th frame per second and 1080p 30 frames per second. The Samsung device is equipped with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset and an 8-core processor. It also features the Adreno 750 GPU. The device comes in 2 variants with 12GB of RAM and either RAM 256GB or RAM 512GB of storage. The battery capacity is 5000 mAh and it supports fast charging of up to 45 watts, wireless charging up to 15 watts, and 4.5 forward reverse charging. The operating system is Android 14.1 UI 6.1, and the device has an under-display fingerprint sensor with ultrasonic technology. Here are some of the best devices that might be available in 2024. Which one do you think is the best, and which one would you like to buy? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.